see. We shall see. Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? Oh wow, 3 people watching. All right. If you don't know, if you haven't seen the shorts this morning, I am on my way to Memphis. I'm about 25 minutes out. Still in Mississippi, about to cross over the border. And there is a freaking semi. It doesn't really know if he wants to pass me or not. Yeah, so you guys are going to ride along with me. Maybe catch a few minutes when I roll to my buddy Richard's house. And if you don't know, and the first few people that have gotten here already, how many people we got now? 8. I can't see without my damn glasses. 8 people. Welcome, everybody. So yeah, like I was saying, about 25 minutes outside of Memphis, or at least the location that I'm going to. I'm going to pick up my new to me itinerary for the folks that don't know. But by the time most people are going to see this, I will have the bike in the back of the trailer. It's kind of funny. Over the years, I've given people so much hell about trailer and their bikes because so many of my friends that trailer their bikes 50, 60 miles to go ride their bikes for 50 or 60 miles. I've always given them shit. Not to mention all the people that go to the rallies. Yeah, you go to Sturgis, you trailer your bike like 95% of the way because you don't like riding motorcycles. I've always given those people shit, but yet I go and throw a motorcycle. Well, the last one I bought, I threw on a motorcycle. Let's see. Or I threw on a trailer. But I mean, what's the option of picking up motorcycles? I guess that's always can everybody hear me? Congrats. We'll be waiting on your first camping video on the new bike. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Itchy will be proud. Gary sent me a text this morning saying, Itchy Boots mentioned the Moto Giant. And I think he said something like, also known as Squeaky Boots. And I'm thinking, oh, she mentioned me. Holy shit, that's awesome, man. I didn't even know she knew who the hell I was. Turns out she just said the phrase Squeaky Boots, but she was talking about her boots. I got all excited. The Itchy Boots give me a shout out. Turns out she was just talking about her own boots. Oh well. Yeah, I figured I'd let you guys ride with me the last few miles and maybe get a shot of the situation. And if you guys want to watch the whole thing, I doubt it would be that interesting, but who knows? I mean, I could even I'd probably even hook up a wireless mic and walk out there. It would be a terrible shot. I kind of know what works on live streams and what doesn't. And I'm still shocked at what does work on live streams. It always kind of blows my mind. T7 indeed. Everybody's figured it out by now. I mean, I guess I could have made a video and tell everybody, hey, I'm getting a Tenere 700, the one that I rode on the TAT. I've mentioned it a few times, I think mostly in live streams. But I think what's most interesting is how many times I've shown a picture of a T7 on, I don't know how many videos. There's probably a still picture of the bike that I'm getting color and everything, hoping that maybe somebody will go, oh yeah, that looks like the motorcycle that he rode on the TAT. But yeah, there's probably less than 20 people. Surely there's less than 20 people. I don't know. From the comments, that's all I know. I don't know what everybody knows. I just know from the comments, everybody's all over the place. I even got a few people saying I'm getting a monkey. Although, no, it just wouldn't work. I mean, it'd be easy to sling my leg over a monkey. In fact, I think I did it recently. Yeah, real easy to sling my leg over, but not easy to do anything else that I want to do. I tell you, if I was getting a new motorcycle, I'm very curious about that. What is that? It's an ADV scooter. I'm really curious about that. I wish I'm trying to remember who makes it now. It's like a 300 ADV scooter, but it looks like it's got some decent suspension, maybe some decent clearance. Other than that, I don't know that much about it. I think I saw a video of somebody riding the thing, and it looked very interesting. Oh, I got 23 people in here watching. Cool, glad to have y'all. So for those folks just joining, I'm on my way to pick up my new-to-me motorcycle. And if you've been watching my channel for any time, you will know the motorcycle that I rode on the Trans-American Trail. That's what I'm going to get. So if you don't know my motorcycle channel, and you don't know what I did on the TAT, and you're just dying of curiosity, you can't wait anymore. It's the same motorcycle I rode on the TAT, so all you got to do is go back and look at those videos, and oh yeah, now I know what he's going to get. It's not going to be a trike. It's not going to be a Can-Am Spider. Man, I can just hear the unsubscribe buttons hitting right now. I can just hear them. I still have people trolling me, trying to get me to get a Can-Am or a trike. I'm foolish. That's not a good fit. And if you've been watching my channel ever, if you've watched any of my videos, you would know that that's not a good fit. It's not what I do. I don't cruise around on the street, although I do a lot of street riding. That's not my thrill. It's not my thing. I like to get out in the woods. I ride street mostly to get there, but yeah, I like to get out in the woods. And what's funny, it's not just the Can-Am folks, it's not just the trike folks that are doing it. We got a lot of folks that are in love with their model of bike. And they're trying to squeeze my fat ass into their model of bike. And it's really amusing to watch, because nobody's given any kind of rational anything other than, well, you can get your leg over my seat, or you can, my seating position is very comfortable, and it would be good for you too. Not addressing anything about what the struggles, not addressing anything about my leg, not addressing anything about my enormous size. Just, I like my bike, and you should like it too. You will like it, you just need to go ride it. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. And I always wonder, is this the only motorcycle you've ever ridden? Because that's my first impulse. It's like, oh, it's a really good fit for you, so therefore it's a really good fit for me. Because it's the only bike you've ever ridden, or I don't know what's going on with my lungs. I choked on something this morning when I was loading up. I don't know, maybe I'm dying. I don't know. I could be dying. How's everybody else? What's everybody else doing today? It's supposed to be like 50% chance of rain on the way up here and like 70% on the way back, but it looks like all that's changing. I don't want to say the sky's cleared up, but the sun's out. It's mostly cloudy, but the sun's out. It's beginning to look like a really nice day. What are y'all up to? Old stinky boots. Yep, that's not me. My boots don't stink. My shoes don't stink. My feet don't stink. They never have. Although my mother will tell you differently. I think there must have been a time when I was very small. Oh, wow. Is that state trooper? Oh, that's the police. Sheriff. I hope I'm still doing the speed limit. I've been slowly dragging my way up there because I'm not in a hurry. And old Krusty here is, she's old, man. She's a year model of the Avalanche. And I've had her ever since she was new. She's been a good truck. But I have delayed a lot of maintenance on her because I just prioritized the money that I had, which hasn't been a lot since I sold my house and got rid of all my stuff. I haven't had a very large income. I don't want to say fixed monthly, but it's been pretty low since 2015. I abandoned my normal life in 2015. I've been working since then, just not regular. Anyway, I've delayed maintenance on my truck because I don't drive my truck. Up until I came home from the hospital, my truck has just been there as a grocery getter, parts getter when it's cold and wet. Because normally I like riding my motorcycles so much that I run all my errands on motorcycles. I go get groceries on motorcycles unless it's something big that won't fit and I can't strap it. And in those cases, I always throw it in the old Krusty here. Therefore, the stuff it needs, like I don't know, I did all the work myself with the help of my brother and Luke, my buddy Luke. I did all the work myself, but still, just the parts. I've gone through $700 worth of stuff I just put into her. Brakes, tires, and she still needs some stuff. The last video I made talking about the groaning in the front, and it's been doing that for a long time. It's getting much worse now. It's starting to bother me now. It's starting to bother me I'm thinking, is this drive shaft gonna come loose and go through the floorboard and take off my other foot? It is a concern. Oh Lord. We are just now getting into Memphis. And traffic is slowing way down. Way slower than it should be. And everybody's merging over into my lane, which is probably a good thing because that slowed me down. But I am in Tennessee now. And of course the Swift truck had to pull over into the center lane, which pretty much went from, 70 to 45 because Swift drivers don't know how to drive. Any of you truck drivers gonna back me up on that? I know none of my audience drives for Swift because I know they're way more classy than that. If you're a professional truck driver, surely you've moved on. Surely you can't be serious. All right, we got a light here. Let's see if I can figure out how to get the chat up. Oh, there is a chat button. Is there a chat button? I can't tell. I hate trying to stream and stay on top of the chat. Ah, geez, there it is. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do much staying on top of the chat because I'm driving and I can't read, and the chat disappears. And if you've, I need to do a video of me running a stream on my phone to show you how difficult it is. I mean, if you got normal vision and you're young and your fingers aren't fat like sausages, I'm sure it would be much easier, but I hate using a phone because it's so small, the screen's so small, the text is so small, manipulating stuff with, I'm okay with moving stuff around on the screen. I just wish the screen was about this big because I could get my finger into the places that I need to get it. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty excited about picking this up. I started filming this morning with the phone just because I thought it was some interesting stuff going on in my head. I'll probably make a video on the, maybe throw some of the live stuff and the shorts in. But the thing that was interesting is when I left this morning was the trepidation that I was feeling. I was like, man, this is like going on a trip. It's like starting an adventure. I usually don't get nervous about anything. I don't get anxious. But trips, sometimes I can't sleep the night before I'm leaving on a trip. Sometimes it's very hard. And I would guess that probably any of y'all can identify that, but it's also kind of weird that I've been doing this long enough to know what to expect. I've been doing it long enough to know that it's just a process and I'm pretty good at the process, and it should be no big deal, but yet I still get all wound up. Not so much the night before, because usually when I'm going out for weeks and months, I'm prepping a week or two in advance. I'm getting my shit together. I'm getting all the stuff that I need, finding out what's missing, what's broken. I'm sorting out all my gear like nobody else does, or at least the people that are successful do what I do. I'm hammering on about that. Probably going to have to make a whole video on it about, hey, look, I'm out here doing this for my upcoming adventure, and here's what everybody else does. Here's me, and here's what everybody else does. And also, I want to say something like, I don't know, maybe I'm screwing up, and I just don't know it because it hasn't caused me problems yet. But this is how I do it. This is, and I've got this, I call it my ADV lab. I've got this big folding plastic table that I keep out in the yard when I'm setting everything up, so I can dump everything out of the bus onto the box, throw everything on the table, sort everything out, put it in its appropriate position, getting ready to roll out, get everything sorted out, and make sure, set up my hammock, set up any kind of stuff that I need to make sure that I'm not going to freeze to death from hypothermia or being cold and wet or anything like that. So usually that takes me a week or so. I mean, it's not like a week, 10 hours a day. It's an hour or two a day. I start out and I start just sorting all my gear out and making sure I've got everything, making sure it's sorted and going in the right bag. And the funniest thing is all that prep, all that stuff that I do is just the first leg of the journey. Usually by the third or fourth leg, the third or fourth time I break camp, I have usually resorted everything. So there's not a consistent, perfect way of sorting everything out. There's not a consistent, correct way to do anything. So usually I sort it out the first time. Maybe I'll do a shakedown run. Maybe I'll do an overnight before I leave just to make sure I've got everything, pull everything out of the bag at camp somewhere close by, make sure nothing's falling off the bike, because that's important. Don't have stuff falling off your bike when you're riding. Who would have known that it could have caused a tragedy like that? If you will notice in the video, the crash video, the rear facing camera that's showing my bag flopping, it's flopping because I strapped that thing all on. I didn't want it falling off and rolling down the road somewhere. So that stuff was stuck on the bike, and that's what caused the problem in the first place, or one of the issues. if it would have just fallen off, I would have lost a sleeping bag. No big deal. It's an old sleeping bag anyway. But yeah, the way I strap things, I didn't do it the way I normally do it because I was going to take the trash off and re-strap everything like a few hundred yards from my camp. So how's the audio? I just rolled down the windows. Make sure the audio is still okay. Is the audio still okay? Just somebody say, yeah, it's okay, or it's loud, roll the windows back up. Do something that's too loud, because I don't want the audio, because you're not here just to see my pretty face, are you? The video's acting weird. I don't even know if anybody's still watching. Yeah, 37 people. Wow, everybody wants to see me pick up the motorcycle, I guess. That's pretty funny. I don't even know what I was talking about. Memphis, y'all. You know, I don't think I passed by Graceland on this route. I think it's over there. A few blocks. I've talked about Graceland a few times. Graceland is in Memphis. That's Elvis's home. And I also say it's a ridiculous price to go on what's not even a tour. It's just you get to go in and walk around Graceland, and you get to go down and look at the basement of his home. I'd love to go upstairs and see the kind of craziness that's upstairs. But I tell you, it's so interesting. I was there like 10, 15 years ago. It was like $37. So it's probably like 57 now, but how weird it was being in his house. Huge castle, because that's what it looks like. It's this huge estate. You know, it's got to be 15, 20 acres. Big iron gate out front, big, beautiful, wrought iron, huge outside to keep all the crazies out. And I'm pretty sure it was like that when he lived there, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not turning here. Stand by. 0.2 miles, I'm getting off on 240, which means I'm about to run this quick. Ah! That's why everybody's stacked up in the right lane. 240 east. If I miss my exit. Woo! Nice, Nick. Alright, now which way? 240 east. Yeah, I gotta keep in mind I'm pulling a trailer. I forget sometimes. I'm looking back in my rear view to see if I'm got enough distance so I see that big gate on the back. That's usually enough. Alright, I'm gonna have to roll the windows back up. But I am still curious to see if that caused a lot of noise. Alright, let me see. Gotta navigate just a little bit. 9 miles to 12B. Yeah, I think that's Richard's exit. So 40 people, y'all don't know. I'm going to pick up the motorcycle that I rode on the Trans-America Trail. If you've been watching long enough, only about a year. It was not this past summer, but the summer before. Summer before, I rode the Trans-America Trail with another one-legged dude. Back before when I had 2 legs. Audio is good, the view not so much. Thanks. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear the truth. And that is the truth. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to pick up the motorcycle that I rode the Trans-America Trail on summer of 23. I didn't do dick this summer because, you know, I was trying to recover from, I was trying to grow some skin around that wound. But anyway, that's when I'm on my way to go pick up that bike, and I'm glad you guys are joining me. The picture not so great, but the audio is okay. I'm trying to think of something interesting to tell you. We got about 9 miles, maybe 10 miles to go. And then I'm going to turn the phone around and maybe me picking up the bike. I talked to Richard about a week ago and kind of threw all this stuff out at him. And basically I was asking him, let me see if I can catch some of these chats. I'm probably 10, 11, 12 minutes out from his house, but look, I get sidetracked even when I'm not driving. Trying to tell stories, it's hard. It's hard. It's always been hard for me. I've never been good at storytelling. But last week, I was on the phone with Richard, catching up and putting some details together. It's like, man, if we got a few minutes, if you have time, I'd love to sit down and ask you a ton of questions, because I got a ton of questions. How you do things with one leg, what I need to know. I know a little bit about the modifications that he did on his KLX back before, because he was doing them while I was there and talking about things. But the thing that I don't understand about having one leg, seeing what he went through, is he was so much further ahead than me. Then I'll tell this story. It'll probably come back up, and if I get a chance to interview him. When I was talking to him on the phone, I was saying, I don't understand. From what I remember, you had your accident. He was planning on joining us at the first Camp and Cook back in, what was that, 22? Yeah, the first Camp and Cook back in 22. And the week before, it sounded like he had his bags packed and everything ready to roll, and he was going somewhere to the store and got run over by a truck. So the week before the first Camp and Cook, he was planning on coming and meeting us. Lost his foot, couldn't make it, of course, because he didn't have a leg. But 3 months later, he met up with me in Colorado on that Harley and was riding it like a damn dirt bike. But that's the thing. On the phone, that's the question I was asking. Man, you were so much further ahead. I didn't have my leg 3 months out, number one. Number two, I was in so much pain, I don't think I would have wanted a leg. My leg wasn't healing up. I was in a lot of pain still. And look at how long it's taken me to get to the point where I'm at now, where I can actually think about riding a motorcycle. Putting my leg across the motorcycle, putting my feet on the pegs, even if I can modify them. This has taken me, what is this? Am I going on 3 months here with my leg? I'm close to 3 months having my leg. So he was 3 months from losing his leg. And not just that, he went home. I can't remember. He went home like the week that he had his leg amputated. He went home a week, did not do any rehab, which may be the difference. Is like, I was thinking rehab was good. I don't think my rehab was that good. That's my one big beef with the hospital is, my rehab sucked. And I've gotten other people, professionals, to tell me the same thing. It's like, wow, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have done that. They should have done this, and they didn't. At the time, though, if I would have known that, I would have been, hey, y'all go ahead and discharge me. I need to get home where I can actually heal and get better. But anyway, Richard was on his bike. I got a turn coming up, 2.7 miles. Richard was on his bike riding across country, and that came, I think we were daring him on a live stream. And he's like, man, I wished I was out there. And I'm like, get on your damn bike. So, shit, he did. He got on his bike and met me in outside Dinosaur, just across the border into Utah. The day after, or actually the same day, we didn't meet the same day. He stayed at the same campground, or not campground, rest stop. We stealth camped in a rest stop, and he came rolling in. I want to tell that whole story. Probably a few of y'all that have been watching my videos for a while probably know a lot of the story already, but it's a great story. I want to retell it. And now with a different perspective, I'm missing a leg too. And that's kind of, if nothing else, I just want to get a picture of our two legs standing side by side. That would be interesting because, it kind of looks like, wow, he had so much influence on me. It was so awesome seeing this guy doing this great thing with one leg, riding across the country with one leg. And I wanted to be that guy too, so I wouldn't have had my leg chopped off. No, hero or not, I would much rather have my old leg back. It was much easier. Life was much easier. It's much harder not having two legs. But I'm sure somebody has thought that, because I thought it. I was like, oh man, somebody's gonna think that I really, and not just that, I got the same leg chopped off, Somebody's gonna think that, so. Okay, 0.7, I'm doing 12B. Woo! Sam Cooper Boulevard. All right, I think we're on the right page. West, 12B. As long as we're not going, oh, we are going left. That's kind of interesting. 12B. It's hard to see which lane it's pointing towards. It looks like it's this one. 12B. Everybody in the left lane's doing 50 on the interstate, and then everybody behind me is doing 75. Kind of scary. Is this 12B? This is 12B indeed. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've been this. Oh, the turn here. I've been this way. I've come up here 2 or 3 times. Came up here to do came up here the first time to do a shakedown run, but really it was less of a shakedown run and more of a, I don't know anything about the T7. I don't know if it's going to fit me. I don't know if it's the way you've got it set up, how much modification I'm going to be able to do, and are you going to let me do any modification? So I came up here the first time several weeks before the tentative trip. And I'm jumping ahead, but the story is basically, he missed the first camp and cook. He hooked up with me 3 months later out west. We rode around for a couple of weeks, got along great. And then he joined us at the second camp and cook. And while we were out, while everybody was, I think pretty much everybody had gone towards bed, we were sitting around the campfire, and he's like, man, I was thinking about doing the tap. And I was like, really? That'd be awesome. I never really thought that much about doing the tap just because it just did not seem that appealing, just doing dirt roads across America. There's some great spots on the tap, and I've done a lot of them, but I've never really given a whole lot of thought because I thought, man, this is kind of a pain in the ass. I don't really want to do dirt roads. That looks kind of, doesn't look like a whole lot of fun. Where the hell am I going? What have they done with the roads? That's the question. Jesus, oh, there's a barrel in the middle of the road. No, that's kind of scary. But anyway, what have I got? I've got 0.7 miles. So anyway, he joined us for the second camp and cook on his KLX. Wow, what a party, man. That was great. Ellen, Georgia. Anyway, so we're the last two up, and he's whispering in my ear, hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing the tap. And I'm like, that'd be cool for you, though. And then he was like, I got an extra bike if you're interested. And I was like, really? What do you got? He's like, T7. I was like, really? And you'd let me ride it across the tap? It's like, what an idiot. What an idiot. It's Reagan Street, isn't it, man? I was like, I'll take you up on that, maybe. But no, I didn't. I don't think I said anything like that. I think I just said, "Wow, that's really interesting. That's a very generous offer. Let me consider that." And then we kept talking. I was like, "Man, let me come check out your bike and maybe we can ride together." So I came up here. That was the first time I came up here. Jumped on the bike. We did a nice tour of, I don't want to say his neighborhood. We went out pretty far. I think we probably did 45, 50 miles that day. Did some off-road stuff. Got into a little bit of sand. Went down some gravel roads. Obviously, he knows some cool stuff around his house. 0.2 miles return. Not this exit, but the next exit, maybe. Was that my exit? Looks like that was my exit. Where the hell? Alright. Yeah, I think he lives right over there. But I missed the exit because my GPS is off, I guess. 0.8 miles. We're turning around. Okay, we can turn around. Anyway, so I came up, did the bike, and then had a bunch of questions like, man, can I put, because I wanted to carry my camera stuff and maybe a laptop so I could dump footage onto the laptop, have a place to store it instead of carrying like $1,000 worth of SD cards. I figured, well, if I could do that, if I could take my laptop, that could, let's see if I can get off here. What is this saying? It's saying hook around this way. And I hope no cops are behind me because I sure am driving erratically. So anyway, yeah, I started driving. We did a ride around, a test ride, a shakedown ride, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of getting to know the motorcycle and seeing if this was going to be a good fit. And obviously, Richard's a good rider, so I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to worry about babysitting him as a rider. Although there was some consideration. I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm getting into. He seems like he knows what the heck he's doing. But what if, the what ifs of, hey, this is a one-legged rider. We're going to be right. I knew 95% of the TAT is no big deal. It's just a bunch of dirt roads, right? If you take out the dirt and the sand, and I think everybody's doing the same thing I'm doing. Making a U-turn in this parking lot. That's pretty funny. Because I don't think you can get back out here. Maybe you can. Yeah, you can get back out here. Everybody's just making a dumb police. So got back to his house, started talking about it, started talking about plans, started talking about, what ifs. What are we getting into? Is this gonna, and the more he talked, the more I was like, this sounds like a pretty freaking awesome adventure. And I've also said in the past that I've got to stop saying no. I've got to start saying yes to adventure. And that was a big mantra with me. I don't think I talked to anybody about that, but it was a big deal for me to stop saying no, to stop being afraid, to stop, and not just the dream adventures, all the stuff like the TAT that I was like, it's never been on my radar, although I've always been fascinated by it. It's never really been on my radar because I thought, it's kind of boring. Most of it's kind of boring. You're just going across dirt roads across America, but it's epic because it goes across America. And the history, and you got all those BDRs now. Sorry, I gotta navigate once again. It's saying 2.1 miles. Man, I must have really missed my exit. Either that or this damn GPS is off again. No, it's still saying 2 miles. Sorry, y'all. I'm navigating in. I'm kind of dopey. Oh, this is the longest This is the longest road trip I have made since I left the hospital. So I've got a bunch of firsts today. First time I've left Alabama. Yeah, it's a lot of firsts, man. This is a pretty long trip. My leg is aching. I can feel my leg. It's been aching for a while. This is it, Graham Street. This has got to be it. It was saying Graham Street earlier. I'm getting off on Graham Street. I'm saying 1.2 miles. I don't believe it. Let's see if I can get off here and figure out the rest. Is it going to reroute me? Is it going to reroute me? Is it going to reroute me? No, it's to take me straight. I swear Graham was the last one I saw there. Well, I'm going to be a little bit late. I told Richard 2 o'clock, but damn, there's 47 people watching. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't keep up with the channel. I'll try to. Not get killed, because that's not the live stream I want to be a part of. I mean, I'm sure it'll be getting a lot of views and get a lot of clips out of that. Yeah, also as it was to get 150, 200,000 views on my crash videos. I'll give it all back. I'll give the millions of views that I might have for the rest of my life. I'll give it all back to my foot. Can I have my leg back, please? It'd be pretty awesome if I had my leg back. Although I am getting used to this. It's a pain in the ass. I've still got a lot of limitations, as I've talked about before. Is this my exit? This is my exit. Perkins. Well, I actually left 30 minutes early this morning because I like that give up buffer. I like to be able to busting my ass trying to make it there in time. I figured if I left at 10, I could get here at 2. I left at 9:30 just to give me a chance to grab some gas and a bite to eat it if I need it, and a pit stop. And I've had a couple of pit stops in addition to stopping for food. Let's check out the chats while I'm sitting here at the light. If I can get. Oh, Jesus, this phone sucks. Live chat. The screen should just be, the chat should always be there. Why is it not? Never wanted to go whitewater rafting until I did. Yeah, that's, I like whitewater. I used to paddle a lot. There's going to be a lot of things I'm probably never going to do again. And paddling, even on a lake, is probably going to be a tough sell. Toreg 660, Richard is smart since you already beat the shit out of that bike, so now he sells it to you. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think I beat the shit out of it, but I did bounce on it pretty hard. Richard is the man. T7 and Tiger Rally Explorer on the Big Bend River Road. Yes, maybe March or April. That sounds great, Gary. And yeah, I've ridden most of that, Gary, so I'm pretty comfortable with some of the stuff. You mentioned BDR. I need to go back. I never did go back and look at the BDR stuff out there. I'm sure it's probably going to be a little bit more rugged, but I mean, there's not really any hills out in Big Bend. Well, there's a few, but they're small. They're not mountainous. Hello. People driving, but they're not. I have got a right turn coming up, so I'm the one that's going to actually drive now. So where was I? Oh, so we came back to his house after the shakedown run, talked about what I could do to his bike, because it's set up pretty much with my fat ass. It's the perfect bike. My fat ass, a big Bertha on the back, it probably could be sprung for another 50 pounds and then be better. But I rode that damn thing all the way across America on dirt roads. Some of them very rugged, and I only bottomed out 2 or 3 times. It's a handful of times, which to me was like, this thing works, because typically every bike that I ride, unless it's really sprung and I've got high dollar suspension on it, usually I bottom the shit out of it, because most motorcycles aren't built for giants. So, but this one is sprung pretty well. It rides fantastic. It makes me smile. Still hadn't figured out the wheelie thing, although I can get the front wheel up, just not the kind of impulsive, I'm in second gear and I need to hit that log just right. I never got comfortable with that. It's probably just, knowing where the throttle and the clutch needs to be. Moonlit Tavern, that's new. All right, well, we're rolling up here. Let me see if I can turn this camera around real quick. Bloop, bloop. Can we turn the camera around? Oh, there we go. Now, second question is, can we get into Richard's? No parking anytime, but that does not really apply to me. All right. I'm going to say that I'm probably going to have to park right here. Richard's got his leaves out on the street. All right. Since we don't really have a view here, I'm going to unplug everything, snatch the camera, and then we're going to roll up to Richard and knock on his door and see if Richard wants to come out and play. I was thinking about just bringing the truck out, because I don't like pulling a trailer ever, pretty much. But if you know anything about the Avalanche, it's the bed on the Avalanche is ridiculously high, just ridiculous. And getting a motorcycle up on there is just kind of, So, let's go over here. I'm not sure if Richard's okay with me streaming. If he tells me to turn the damn camera off, I'll do it. But he's probably sleeping. He still works nights. Oh, there he is. What's up, dude? What's up?
Look at you!
Dude, look at you. You're walking so much better than the last time I saw you.
Had more practice since last time I saw you.
Long time, bro.
Been a while.
It has been. Say hey to everybody. We're streaming.
Oh, we are streaming?
I can turn it off if I need to.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't know if I'm sweating and nervous because of what I'm fixing to drag this bike back home. I don't know what's going on. I was nervous when I left the truck. I just did a bunch of maintenance to the truck, and it's got a probably the front drive shaft CV joint. I don't know. It's making all kinds of rags. It's just getting worse, and I'm thinking, if it's going to happen anytime, it's going to happen when I got this thing on the trailer. Just thinking all these things going through my head. And I'm like, man, stop saying no to adventure, which
Correct.
is kind of what I was just saying on the stream, was kind of saying, when you started talking about the tat, I was like, I've always been curious about it. I interviewed Sam Carrera. We went to his house and I interviewed him because I think it's a great story. And there's some great sections. You've heard all this before, but they may not have heard all this. But my idea was, man, I'd like to do the other sections on the tat and just say I did them. But saying I did, it's kind of like iron butts. I've done an iron butt. I don't need to do another one to prove anything. I don't need to do the tat to prove anything. Doesn't look like that much fun. And we started talking about it. I was like, that sounds like more like an adventure, like the kind of stuff that I like to do. It's just doing the dirt road, sticking to some kind of a general route. And anyway, Anyway, I was just saying, I got to stop saying no to adventure, which is
Don't say no to adventure.
that's part of my mantra. I've been saying that for a few years, and how many times have I said no? But your offer was very compelling. That's what I was saying. It's like, hey, come ride my bike. Well, exactly. It was a trap. But you know, I have never had anybody say, hey man, I got an extra bike. Why don't you come over here and we'll go ride my bike and this cool adventure? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a bike like that. That's the perfect bike probably. And that's what I was just saying. We came up here and did that shakedown ride just to see. Yep. And I was like, man, this is a really good fit, I think. What could go wrong? Adventure? Don't say no. Just don't say no.
Well, there are some things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
But just not on the adventure.
Hey, a sticker?
I see that.
I'll get you a sticker you can put on there.
We'll bling it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know how much filming we're going to do while I'm here, but the one thing I want to do is get a shot of our legs together. Yours has got a smaller stem than mine.
Well, actually, the stem still stops here when they